Good morning. I want to be reading from the book of Romans chapter 8 this morning. Starting at verse 1, it says, "There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Yahushua HaMashiach, to them who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit," or the Ruach. "For the law of the Spirit of life in Yahushua HaMashiach has made me free from the law of sin and death. For what the law could not do, or the Torah, what the Torah could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, Yahuwah sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the Torah might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the Ruach, or after the Spirit. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit," or the Ruach. "For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against Yahuwah, for it is not subject to the law of Yahuwah, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot," notice this, "so then they that are in the flesh cannot please Yahuwah. But we are not in the flesh, but in the Ruach," or in the Spirit, "if so be that the Spirit of Yahuwah dwells in you. Now if any man," of course this would include any women, "any man or woman have not the Spirit of Messiah, he's none of his. But and if Messiah be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Spirit is alive because of righteousness." Notice what it says here in this writing, that there is therefore now no condemnation to those that are in Yahushua HaMashiach. In other words, if you've received the Messiah, if you have believed on him, there is therefore now no condemnation. In other words, there's nothing that should condemn you and I, because we have received of his Spirit, of his righteousness. And notice it says that the law is fulfilled in him. That we fulfill the ordinances of the law because we have received the Messiah. We've partaken of his righteousness, which was the real intention of the Torah, was to actually bring us to a realization of our need for a Savior. And the moment that you call upon him and believe on him and receive him, ask him into your life, he imparts his Spirit, his Ruach, into you and I. And then we, as believers, walk in the Spirit, and we won't fulfill the lust or the desires of the flesh. And notice it says here in verse 11, it says, "But if the Spirit of him that raised up Yahushua dwell in you, he that raised up Messiah from the dead shall also quicken or make alive your mortal body by his Spirit," or by his Ruach that dwells in you. Oh boy, that's good news to know that he's going to make alive my mortal body by his Spirit that dwells in me. And if you have the Spirit of Yahuwah in you, then you can have confidence knowing that he's going to change this mortal body by his Spirit that dwells in you. May these words bring comfort and strength to you today, and we'll pick this up on our next session. Have a great and blessed and prosperous day in Yahuwah. Shalom.